Hi guys, today I'm going to talk about my most anticipated releases for the fourth and final quarter of 2017. So these are the new releases in October, November and December of 2017. I have 14, so as always I'm gonna keep it brief. And another little disclaimer that I want to put at the beginning of this is that, this list as always includes some diverse reads, and I always encourage you to check out Own Voices review, especially as it gets closer to the release, because there might always be something about the book that is problematic, that might be harmful to some people, but obviously 2 months before a release I won't really know, and so, I don't have any opinions for most of these books yet. And so I always just want to try and give this warning out to you that, by the time this book actually comes out, it might not be on my anticipated release list anymore because some problematic things have come up with it. Hasn't been the case lots of times, but I just do want to mention it because Own Voices reviews are really important. And yeah, just in general, support Own Voices authors, but also Own Voices bloggers, booktubers. Alright, let's get into it. As always, I'm gonna leave links to all of these down in the description so you can check them out on Goodreads. So there you have it all. If you wanna know more about the full synopsis, you can check it out there. You'll find it all. Now, I am quickly gonna mention the 4 October 3rd releases that are on my anticipated list, but I'm not gonna go through them in detail because I had arcs of all 4 of these, which is really exciting, but I have been talking about them several times in other videos, so I just don't want to go on detail, but I also don't want to make this list without talking about them, so let's quickly go through them. The first one is 27 Hours by Tristina Wright. This is a YA science fiction book. It's very queer, has people of color, it has a deaf character. I'm currently reading it, enjoying-ish it so far. I'm not quite yet sure how I feel about it, but yeah, definitely something to look out for. The next one is The Tiger's Daughter by Kay Arsenault Rivera. I have started this and decided to DNF it at just about a 4th in. I was not a fan of it. I was very sad because I had anticipated this for such a long time. I still wanted to include it because initially it was one of my anticipated releases and I do want to get back to it, but I am very conflicted about it at the moment. Then we have That Inevitable Victorian Thing by E.K. Johnston. This is a YA historical fiction / science fiction. This is actually one that I'm kind of going into not knowing much about it because I feel like that's really gonna make the experience a lot better, but it has a gorgeous cover and the basic things I know about it sound amazing and I do hope to pick it up before it comes out. And finally I have the Bloodprint. I think this is an adult fantasy, but I'm not 100% sure if it's YA or adult, and otherwise I also don't know much about it. I have heard some good things about it, so I am very excited, but I haven't started it yet or anything, so I don't really know. And now we can get into the rest of the books. So then we have The Fandom by Anna Day. This comes out October 5th. This is a YA contemporary / fantasy / science fiction. It is described as genre flipping and it takes place at Comic-Con, but then they kind of get transported to this fictional world. So that sounds really amazing. I'm really hoping that it lives up to my expectations. It sounds so good. It sounds like 100% my thing, and I just really hope that it can deliver what this amazing premise promises. Then we have Echo After Echo by Amy Rose Capetta. This comes out October 10th. This is a YA mystery, which I normally wouldn't really pick up, but this takes place in a theater group, and I think the main character wants to be an actress, and she just wants to be in that theater group, and then she falls in love with the stylist or costume designer or something, and it's a female-female romance. It sounds amazing. Then we have Forest of a Thousand Lanterns by Julie C. Dow. This also comes out October 10th. This is a young adult East Asian fantasy retelling of the tale of the evil queen, and really I think that's all I need to say. I'm not the hugest fan of any kind of fairy tale retelling, but I do think there's certain characters that are really interesting but that are overdone. But East Asian retelling, yeah, it sounds pretty good. Next I have Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. This also comes out October 10th. Now, I really don't know anything about this because I don't want to know anything about it. I have to say, while this is definitely one of my anticipated releases, this is not an anticipated release where I'm gonna love this book, this is gonna be 10 out of 5 stars and it's gonna be the best book ever. This is just something where I'm very excited to pick it up to see how John Green has improved as a writer, and I obviously do hope I love it, but I'm not going into it with like huge expectations. I feel like there's lots to improve and lots of stuff for him to do to make me feel amazing about this book, and I'm just not sure if he can live up to these expectations. And if he doesn't, that's fine, but if he does, that would be amazing. Then we have A Line in the Dark by Melinda Lowe. This comes out October 17th. First of all, I do have to say I love this cover so much, and basically I really did not need to know anything about it. I just saw the cover and I read Melinda Lowe, and while I haven't read anything by her yet, which shame on me, she is the queen of queer ladies since like 2009. She has been writing about queer lady main characters for so long, before the whole kind of diversity campaign started. And so really, I just absolutely cannot wait for this. Then we have Barbary Station by R.E. Stearns. This comes out October 31st. This is an adult science fiction novel and it sounds really cool. It sounds a little bit like Illuminae. There's also an AI that has kind of gone wild, but it's also about space pirates and it has queer ladies, so that's all I need to know. Then we have probably my most anticipated release of this list, and definitely in the top 10 of the whole year, and that is The Becoming of Noah Shaw, which comes out November 7th. Honestly, I don't know what to say about this. I just read the Mara Dyer trilogy this year, so I'm like still super into it in comparison to other people who have finished it years ago. And I just really loved the whole trilogy. I thought that all 3 books were a very like solid 4 stars, I want to say, and I just cannot wait. I know that the relationship between Mara and Noah is kind of problematic in the beginning, but I do think it kind of develops into something that is better, and I like Noah, okay? I know I shouldn't like him, but I like him, and I just can't wait to read from his perspective and to see all of this. Oh my god, and it's gonna be so painful. Like, I almost want to wait until the whole trilogy is released, because Michelle Hodgkin is gonna throw some fucking pain at us, and I'm not sure if I can handle it, but I'm so excited. Then we have Cat and Meg Conquer the World by Anna Primaza. This also comes out November 7th. I know that this has 2 main characters, and one of them has ADHD and one of them has anxiety, so this is definitely something that I'm very interested in for that representation, although I do not know if this is own voices and have not really read any own voices reviews, so this is definitely one where I will check out reviews before I actually pick it up. But it sounds really great. It's a book where the 2 main characters build a friendship based on fandom. I think some kind of YouTuber fandom, even like a YouTuber musician or something like that. So it sounds like something that I would really enjoy, and I just really hope that the representation is done well. And then we have Otherworld by Jason Segel, which also comes out November 7th. Now, I think the synopsis for this one sounds like super cryptic and mysterious. It says something about an other world, and it sounds a little bit like virtual reality, but apparently it's like more than virtual reality. It's like the next phase of reality or something like that. Doesn't really say a lot about what's actually happening in the book, who's the main character, which honestly, that's fine by me, because it sounds intriguing and I don't want to know more. I know Jason Segel wrote this like middle grade fantasy trilogy, I want to say, but I have not read anything by him yet, and I'm super excited to kind of see what he can do. And finally, we have the only December release on my list. Now, I don't know if that's because December is just a slow publishing month, or because I just have not been keeping good track of the releases that are kind of coming out at the end of the year. But that one is Ever the Brave by Erin Somerville. This comes out December 5th. I have an arc of this, but I'm not picking it up yet because it's just too far away for me. But I read the first book, Ever the Hunted, last year, and while I wasn't the biggest fan of it, I did think that the ending was definitely interesting, and I felt like the second book had a lot more potential. And also, this is just a duology, so this is the end in that arc at least. I am definitely intrigued, and I just really am hoping that I will enjoy it. And these were all of my most anticipated releases for the last 3 months of 2017. I am so excited. There's so many good books coming out. As always, I'm not sure. I will pre-order some of them, but not all of them. Some of these I might only end up reading a year from now, you never know, but I do always find it interesting to kind of look at my anticipated releases and see how many I actually got to and how many I actually ended up enjoying. So I find these lists lots of fun. Let me know some of your anticipated releases in the comments, and thank you so much for watching. I guess I'll see you soon. Bye!